Hello, everyone. It is Sunday, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. So you know what that means. It is time for another ESC Fan TV live show. Welcome, one and all. My name is Elliot. I am your host, as always. And we are moving on into our second episode of our song reviews for Eurovision 2023. Tonight, we are looking at Israel, Azerbaijan, Moldova, Czechia, Portugal, and Finland. Let's meet my lovely panel. And as you can see, to my stage left, starting in for Tom, who's unfortunately a little unwell tonight, we have Stuart. How are you, Stuart?
Very good, thanks, Elliot. Good to be back. And yeah, good to... Can't wait to actually talk about some of these songs. There's some really good entries tonight. And oh, what's going on down my bottom centre there? It looks like we might have one of the entries join us.
I was about to say that it looks like the Finnish act has turned up, or wait, no, is that just Phil and Michelle?
I don't know. I think it's quite possible we might have Finland join us this evening.
I sing song Finland. Eurovision.
And more of that to come, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the evening.
I also day drink.
From one Nordic country to another, as you can see, we have a very special guest. We have Nicholas, who's joining back for us. How are you, Nicholas?
Hello, I'm good. Looking forward to talking about the songs today.
Fantastic. Directly below, as you can see from Let Me Be the One blog and podcast, and radio show even. I get that wrong every week. I do apologise. It is Martin.
That's fine. Not a problem. Yes, I was at the same event that Tom was at, so hopefully I'll make it through the show.
Yes, and if you didn't see already, he's got an interview coming out with Dotta, who was a special guest this coming Tuesday. And finally, we have Sean as well. How are you, Sean?
Finally. Hello. How are you? Hope you're all well. Looking forward to this. This should be a good one.
Yes, as I said, we've got 6 songs, so let's not waste any time and get straight on. And everyone will be glad to know by popular demand, and by demand meaning me, the Wheel of Fortune is back to decide which order we're going to be doing these songs in. So let's start it. Whee! Yes, I'm so equally entertained by this because I'm a child. So the first song tonight is Portugal. Okay, so we are starting off with Mimi Cat and I Curaçao. So she was actually the last song selected via national final format 2 weeks ago. Very bombastic West Side Story meets Portuguese sort of like flamenco flair. I thought about it all. She was the fan favorite going into selection, tied for the jury vote, but then won the public vote, so she is off to Eurovision. Nicholas, let's start with you because we've not had you on during our national final song, so we don't really know what you think of this song. What do you make of Mimi Cat and the song I Curaçao?
I definitely think it's very authentic Portuguese, and it's definitely one of those countries that often go with something that feels very much like them. So I totally get why this won. This wasn't my favorite. I think Barbara's Goodnight, that was my favorite. That's the one I've been listening to the most from Festival de Canção. But I think this is a fun entry. The only thing that can really worry me is a little bit here is that I feel like sometimes when Portugal send very Portuguese entries, it's not usually when they do super well. And I feel like the last couple of years, they've sent songs that has definitely had those Portuguese elements in it, but have been more, how do you say it? They've been more like appealing to the masses, where this is very much like that, like upbeat flamenco sound that some people will love, but there's also some people who will think this is a little bit too Portuguese for me, maybe. But I think it's a fun entry. I think it can do all right. And I think, no matter how it does, I think this is a great bit of energy to have in the contest this year.
Thank you, Nicholas. Martin, let's come to you, because as I said, for me, it's very reminiscent of West Side Story, like the sort of like flamenco, the clapping, the big skirts. It reminds you, say, like America from West Side Story, definitely is where my mind went. Do you think having a musical theatre reference such as that, so visually and musically from the start, is going to help it come the first semi-final?
Yeah, not really thought about that link actually, but I was thinking more of the like just general flamenco is probably the one that deserved to win in the end in Portugal, even though that wasn't my favourite. I was with Nicholas and but yeah, it's a lot of it is about her really and her personality and how she performs. Not sure how they're going to stage it. Obviously, it was fairly limited in Portugal because it's only in their studios there. So they've got a lot more room. Maybe they get a bigger sofa or more dancers. Don't know. I've got this sort of borderline qualifier just because it's in semi-final 1. I think if she was in semi-final 2, I think Portugal would sail through, but it's a tough one. But yeah, I think people enjoy it. She was good at Barcelona last night. She was on her own, decent vocals. So, yeah, she's going to do a job. I think Portugal will be proud of what they've got there, but I don't know whether it's going to get through.
Okay, thank you. Phil and Assan's put in the comment section, trans carrier. I'm not going to unpack that any further than what it is. Phil and Michelle, what do you make of songs? It's between Latvia and Ireland, two quite slow-paced songs, and as we said about Ireland, we weren't very confident of it. Do you think this going before Ireland will make it stand out and give it the edge to get over the line? Because as we said, only 5 songs are going home in the semi-final, so the chances are good for Portugal.
I think so, yeah. I really like this. And I like the fact that Portugal don't try and send a Eurovision song. They send a Portuguese song. And this is a Portuguese song. All right, it's a little bit old school, but it's got a good beat. It's fun. Yeah, I think this will go through.
I love Mimicat. Mimicat, good.
I'm not prepared for this for the next hour. Thank you. Sean, coming to you. So as we've seen in the last few years with Portugal, they can elevate a song with its staging. We saw that with Marlowe and we saw that with the Black Mamba. Shut up, Gustav. Can you get that comment back on screen, Stuart?
I think my internet's gone. Hello?
I can hear you, Sean. I mean, a few people would probably agree with that comment from Gustav, but still, shut up. Are you with us, Sean?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, and my
Good.
12 points don't go to Portugal. Look, I don't know what you asked because my internet broke up and I've only just recovered from laughing at Michelle, to be honest. But and it's nice to see her nipples up there rather than down there for a change. Sorry.
You're not.
No, I'm not at all. Look, it's a good traditional sounding song by Portugal. They send quite a lot of them, as we know. Sorry. Apparently, she wrote the song about 10 years ago, and she sat on it for a while, and she wrote it out of boredom, and it took her about 5 minutes. So there you go. Enough said, I think. It's the middle of the road for me. It's nothing special. I don't love it, and I don't hate it either. It's quite a good song. But, yeah. Borderline qualifier, and I agree with what Martin said. If it was in semi-2, it would probably qualify, but this is such a tough semi-final. I can't see it getting through.
Thank you. No, Stuart, let's come to you. Let's continue what the chat room's been saying. Now, we know on this channel you are a big Festival de Canção fan. You follow the contest, and you are a big, what's the component and pusher of Portuguese music. And as you know, they can elevate a song in the last few years with Mario and the Black Mamba. Does Mimicat need to elevate the staging to make the stand out and get a chance? Because everyone's saying borderline at the moment. So is it the staging that's what's going to make or break this?
Yeah, I think so. Over the years, you've seen some really, really good entries from Portugal since they won in 2017. They've really been delivering excellence at Eurovision. I think the trouble with this song, and we said this a few weeks back when we covered the victory, it works for a Portuguese audience. I'm not sure it works for an international audience. I think that's its problem. It's a good song. She's a great singer. But I'm not sure the televoters, the international televoters, are going to pick their phones up and vote for this. I just don't think it's got too many redeemable features. I think that's its issue. And whilst I like it, I love all Portuguese music, I'm biased, I just don't know that this is going to qualify. To be honest, and David's going to hate me saying this, I think this is a contender for dead last in the semi-final this year in Portugal. Sorry, David. That's my opinion. Watch it go through as winner of that semi-final now.
Yeah, Stuart's just giving it the reverse kiss of death, which is fine. As I said, for me,
Can I just come back, Elliot? And sorry to interrupt you. I do think Stuart's mental. Thanks, Michelle. I do think there were far better choices in the Portuguese selection, and they went for a song they're quite comfortable with. But there were some great songs. There were some really diverse entries this year in the Festival de Canção, but they went for something that's very traditional Portuguese in my view, and that's the problem when you go for something that's quite traditional and more relatable to the local market. It makes it very difficult for the international market. And I think that's the problem. It's not I don't like the song. I love the song. I love her. I just don't know if it's going to work on a Eurovision stage. Sorry, Portugal.
Thank you. I mean, like I said, the other option was Claudia Pascal in her furry boots and green and pink hair bumping around to an R&B track, which I never thought I'd hear her do after seeing Au Jardin. Like, that was a nice tonal shift from her for the past 5 years. I do really like this song. It's not one I necessarily go seeking out, but when it comes on, I do listen to it because I think she's fantastic. The track is, it just hits and it just gets you bouncing and jigging like this, which I love. It's almost like that sort of like, as this is going to sound really weird, but almost like Western sort of pace, like horse riding, like cycling, like it's that really consistent beat, which just keeps you engaged. That being said, I won't be surprised either which way this gets through or not, because people might grab onto it and go, Wesley, sorry, that was amazing. She's this amazing, charismatic, emphatic performer. Or as you said, some people may just go bypass them for whatever reason. If it's not going to qualify, I see it 11th. I think. And if it does advance, I don't see it doing massive waves in the final. But I want it in the final because I do think it's a bit of diversity and it's good fun. And she seems mad as a box of frogs. She's our kind of crazy. And that's what I want in the final. A little bit of crazy. But to round out this discussion of Portugal and I Curaçao, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do we see Portugal in the final? Stake your claim now. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so you've got 2 yeses from myself, Phil and Michelle. That's 3 even. 2 no's from Sean and Stuart, and 2 maybes from Martin and Nicholas. So we are completely split across the 3.
And I'm in pain, Elliot, saying that. I really am.
I know you are. It hurts. It's not that you don't want to qualify, you're just unsure, and that's fine. And sorry, David. Look, maybe she'll surprise us all and she'll win. Who knows? I won't be mad if we go back to Portugal. They look like they had a lovely time, and just get Philomena to host it again. She was great. Anyway, let's move on to our next country, which means the Wheel of Fortune comes back. Round and round and round it goes, because I'm a big child, as I keep saying, and we're about to go to Czechia. Czechia, one of the first songs selected for this year. They're going with Vesna, the group, 6-piece women group. My Sister's Crown won the national final. That's quite a canter. A very interesting national final where it's just done in a shoebox of a TV studio with a host who didn't know like he knew what he was doing or why he was there, or even if he was sober at points. I'm not doing not issuing an apology like Terry Wogan if someone comes to me after that, because look at the material. But Vesna, like I said, they're performing 13th in the semi-final after Azerbaijan and before the Netherlands. Quite hyped up by the fans. Martin, do you see the fan hype translating to the Eurovision week in May?
Yes, I love this song. It was kick-ass. I mean, it's got a great video. And even in that rubbish studio in, I assume it's Prague or somewhere like that in Czechia, they still did the business. It was a bit manic. It was a bit all over the place. But I can see with proper staging choreography, this is going to look absolutely amazing. They could sing live brilliantly. Yeah, I mean, I've got this 3rd for the semi-final and 6th overall. So, yeah, I think this is going to be one of their best finishes, really. Not sure, maybe up with Nicholas Joseph type level. So I have to see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. And also, hopefully, we'll see them in the promo party in Amsterdam and hopefully maybe getting a chance to chat to them in the press event as well.
Yeah, hopefully, like I said, they seem like very energetic, lovely girls. If people don't know, it actually involves 4 different languages: Czech, English, Bulgarian, and Ukrainian. I'm going to come in next just because I have a slightly different opinion to Martin. In such a stacked semi-final like this, I can see this being the surprise non-qualifier, and I don't think their running order has helped at all. I think with the Netherlands and Finland going after them, it could make them either be forgotten, or if you don't like Czechia, you're really going to vibe with the Netherlands instead. And I see this potentially being a mess on stage. just because there's so many different elements musically and sonically with the different languages and the rap and the chorus and everything. First time listeners, I think is going to be hard to engage. I will say the chorus, where they all harmonize together, is beautiful. Them singing that together and saying the crown is yours, that is beautiful. And they all sound amazing. Separates, it doesn't work for me. So I think they need to just have 1 or 2 ideas and stick with it, and not what feels like 4 or 5. As I said, I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to work live on stage. We can't really take their national final as a marker because it was just in a tiny stage where they couldn't do anything. It was the best of the selection, but translating it to a bigger stage against some really strong acts and songs, I'm not convinced. The only thing I will say is that Eurovision fans have more power in a semi-final because less people are watching it compared to the final, so their vote will carry a little bit further. And so that might get them through, but I'm not convinced. I think this could be a shock non-qualifier, and we always see a fan favourite go out in a strong semi-final like this. We saw it with Iceland 2016, Blackbird. There's always a fan favourite drops out in a very strong semi-final. And now I can hear half the fans coming off with pitchforks outside my window. Sean, let's come across to you. As you said, a lot going on stage, a lot going on musically, sonically. Music video is all a bit weird. Like I said, they're in this big, like, dystopian castle. Men in suits chasing him, like, things on their necks. Like, it's all very powerful visually. But like I said, do you see this working in their favour or working against them?
It depends if they bring what they've got in the video to the stage, to the arena. I'm not sure. If they do, and it's a bit out there, maybe it has got a chance of qualifying. But when you look at the lineup of semi-1, like you said, Elliot, 5 have got to go home, and I can see this maybe not getting through. I really, really liked this song when it was first released, but now I'm just finding it on the wrong side of annoying, tedious, and I'm not sure why. I think it might be the that it just grates on me a little bit now. It's an important message. It's got a strong, story in the song. It's, about gender equality and whatnot, and gender inequality or whatever, and female empowerment. And I like it, but I don't know. There's just something niggling with me about it that's irking me just a tad. So I don't know. When you look at that lineup and the running order, like you said, it could be a shock non-qualifier, even though it's going to be a big fan favourite. Plus, Aunt Sally from Wuzzle Gummidge really used to freak me out, so that might be another reason why it's getting on me nip-nops a little bit.
Thank you, Sean. Nicholas, let's come across to you. As Thomas just put in his comment there, Czechia has subtle constructor isms in the beat and the rhythm that could be a surprise package. Now, obviously, because there are 6 of them, they can't bring anything else staging-wise in a human aspect. It's the 6 of them on stage. How is that then going to translate from the message of their video to the stage? And do you agree like there is a slight constructor quality and this could actually be like a shock top 5 in the televote?
I don't think it coming top 5 in the televote would be a surprise at all, because I think this is really great, both musically and the kind of story that they're trying to tell here. I've loved this. I wouldn't say I loved it from the beginning. I had to kind of warm up to it, but I do really enjoy it. And I don't think we should be looking at, like we've already talked about, I don't think we should be looking at the national final performance and going, oh, this will be hard to stage, because everything was hard to stage in that tiny studio and the way that setup was done. I really don't understand why they chose to do the national final like that, because I don't think it benefited at all compared to like the performances that we had last year. Anyways, that's besides the point. I think that this can be staged really cool, and I think they are interested in telling that story. We've seen the past couple of years that the Czech broadcast is really good at working on the staging, so I think that we will be seeing something that will actually elevate and really tell this story. I think we need to keep a few things in mind when we talk about this song as well. First of all, this is one of the first ones we got, which means that we will always have that fan fatigue where it's like we've listened to the song over and over, so we're starting to kind of feel like, maybe it's a little bit boring, or we start to pick out little details because we've had it for so long. most people watching it will not have that experience when they watch it for the first time. So I think we shouldn't worry about that. And I think, too, we also need to keep in mind the diaspora votes that could potentially go for this song, both for Ukrainians, but also for Bulgarians. We don't have Bulgarian this year. So having that language in there, that could get some votes as well. I think this is a qualifier for sure. I have other songs in semi-1 that I think are the fan favorites. That's not going to make it. I'm not going to tell which ones, but it's not going to be this one. I think this is, again, a really strong song from Czechia. This has to go through. I think it will go through, but it also has to go through because the country, they have been struggling in Eurovision. It's hard for them to get the viewership in there, which is such a shame because Czechia is one of the countries where the music industry just takes this so seriously, which means that we get so much quality in their national final. We get so much quality from them on the Eurovision stage. We've had that in the past couple of years. This is one of my favorite Eurovision countries because they're really taking it seriously. I want this to qualify, and I hope that this goes top 5 because I think it deserves it.
Thank you, Nicholas. I won't press you for the fan favourites you think won't qualify, but if it's a country that begins with S and ends in N, can you just say that just to give Christopher a heart attack and laugh, please?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
Damn it. Phil, Michelle, let's come to you. As everybody's a little bit unsure about the success rate of this song, but where does it sit with you? Is this what you see as an easy quality, or is this going to have a bit of a harder time?
Well, this is one of those songs. When it first came out, I really, really liked it. And I thought, oh, this is, different and good. And I don't know if it's just because it's one of the earlier ones, but I think there are better songs now. So, yeah, it's okay. But I have no idea how it's going to do. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to be hearing it for the first time still. So maybe it'll do okay. And it's not in a bad slot, is it? After Azerbaijan and before the Netherlands, I think it might be okay. It might get through.
Nah, 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 nah. Sounds like Sean moaning. Czechia good.
What the fuck's going on here?
A question I ask
So
myself
confused.
every show. Stuart, what's the chance there? What do you think?
Day drinking. That's what's going on here. Is day drinking.
This is like the time when Andy Brooke decided to host the Icelandic final after show party.
Oh yeah,
It's taking me back to that moment I wished I'd forgotten about. Czechia. I absolutely adore this song. I really do. It's top on my playlist. I think it's Czech Republic or Czechia's best ever entry for me. I think it surpasses all of their others. I loved all of them actually, but this for me is top. I think it finds a way of driving its ethnicity mixed with a modern contemporary twist. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. And I can't wait to see this at a Eurovision stage. I really can't. I really do. I think it's a certain qualifier. And I'm probably going to share a similar view to Nicholas. I think there's others there that are absolutely guaranteed qualifiers that maybe, just maybe won't be. But this, I think, providing they can deliver on stage, has everything you'd want from a really good Eurovision entry. Much like one of the other songs we'll talk about later, they've really listened to some of the Eurovision successes over the last few years and have built upon that from other countries. What makes a good Eurovision entry from, in Eurovision nowadays, and they've really thought about it. The one thing I would say to slightly counteract that is there is a distinct Tulia sounding sound about this entry, which didn't quite work a few years ago. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind. But I do really like this. I really didn't like Tulia's songs. You may remember it. I really like this one, and I really hope this goes through because it deserves to. It's phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, I had seen a lot of comparisons, say, to the white voice of Tulia, but obviously this is not as harsh as that. 'Cause like I said, the harmonies of these 6 girls are very impressive, and I can't take that away from them. But that is everything on Czechia, in our opinion. So one last thing that we need to do is just cast our votes if we think this will qualify or not. So team, when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, will Czechia be in the final? Go. Oh, so we're somewhere between yeses and maybes, but no, so that's positive. No one is saying it won't qualify. We're just a bit unsure if some it will. That is Czechia done, and we shall see how they do in May. And now we go back to the wheel and see which country we're going to talk about next. And it is...
Can I just say, before you decide who it is, if you click on the link on the left, you can buy a really expensive property in Liverpool for about 10 grand a week. Just saying.
This is not an ad, unless they pay me that much money, then it will. But if you didn't see this, Azerbaijan is where we're off to next. They were one of the last acts to reveal their song and artist. Tural and Turalan X, twin brothers competing together with the song Tell Me More. Tell Me More is actually their debut single as a group. They performed for quite a few years and then took a break due to a bereavement in their family, but have recently started returning to music, and they are with this. So we're used to seeing twin sisters competing in Eurovision, like with Twins, Calm Down Stuart, and the Tommy Chevy sisters. But I do believe it's one of the first examples of male twins competing, and as someone with a twin brother, I relate. Quite an easy listening song. A lot of people regard this as like Britpop / the Beatles, like a very distinct, almost like British sound in this. Phil and Michelle, what do you make of this, say, sort of like laid back track from Azerbaijan? Because it's not very Azerbaijani, I can say that much.
It's been bugging me, this song, because it sounds like the sort of thing I used to listen to in the 90s, and I'm trying to think what it reminded me of, and Michelle said, "Oh yeah, it's Sixpence None the Richer," and there is something of it like that. I don't know. I mean, it's in the shit slot, isn't it? It follows Sweden, comes before Czechia, so I think they're going to struggle. I kind of like it. I really don't like the rap bit. I think that doesn't fit in with the rest of the song. But it's a nice song. I'm not sure it's competitive, and where it is, I really think it's going to struggle.
Azerbaijan, suck ass, no callie.
Sometimes that's all you need to do. Just brilliant. Nicholas, let's come to you. So it's quite a laid-back song, but the fans have currently got this ranked dead last in the semi-final and 35th out of all 37 songs. So the fans aren't really gravitating to this song, let's say, but a lot of Brits are. The issue is the UK can't vote in this semi-final. Do you see this as a mountain too high for them to climb over and qualify?
I think so, yeah, which is such a shame because I'm so happy to see, and I know the irony in it, that this happens the year where there are no more juries in the semifinal, and also the fact that Azerbaijan definitely got what they deserved last year, not in terms of the music, but in terms of the broadcast and the voting and all that. I think I really love that they're actually going for something that isn't just, we bought a song from Sweden and we found someone who can do some high notes and let's just go with it. I love that they're bringing something. I don't think this is necessarily authentic to Azerbaijan, but I think it's authentic to the two brothers. They've written it themselves. They are believing in this song. I think it's a really sweet song. It's really, like you said, it's an easygoing song. I love that we have this in the contest. This kind of indie pop vibe is something that we don't get a lot of in Eurovision, and it's definitely very underappreciated in the fandom, which I personally think is a shame because I love this genre. I love this kinds of music. The Netherlands is the same. I love these more like slower, easy listenable songs. It's a lot of what I listen to outside of the Eurovision fandom, but of course it's not a girl pop or crazy, so the fans are not going to love it, besides the point. But I like it. The only issue with the song, or the biggest issue with this song, I'd say, is that it's not competitive enough. And this is a competition. And not only is it a competition, but it's also in the strongest of the two competitions, in the strongest of the semifinals. And also the fact that the EBU has they're clearly still not over what happened with the voting last year. So they just smacked the song right in between Sweden and Czechia, where no one's going to remember this song whatsoever. I think it's a shame. Ultimately, Azerbaijan is most likely going to go back to just buying something from Sweden next year. But I like that we have it. This song is going to be someone's favorite song this year. I have no doubt about that because it is different and it appeals to a different audience. I would love to have this in the final. I don't think we're going to see it, but I'm happy that we have something like this in the contest this year.
Thank you, Nicholas. Sean, let's come to you. So, as we've alluded to, their running order is what I can only describe as a shit sandwich between Sweden and Czechia. There's no other way to put it. Anyone going after Loreen is at a disadvantage, let's be honest. And obviously last year in the semi-final, Nadir actually got nothing from the televote. Now, with everyone obviously still being upset about what happened last year with Azerbaijan and the EBU putting him in this position, as horrible as it sounds, can we see a situation where this actually walks away from Eurovision without a single point in this semi-final?
No, he's going to qualify. I love it. I'm sorry, I might be the minority, but I absolutely love this song. It's in my top 10 this year. I really, really like it. And never mind, Michelle, shut up. You're on mute. Nobody can hear you. There's something really endearing about the sweet chorus in this song. It's absolutely beautiful. A little bit of Britpop, indie pop from 90s. I just love it. I really, really like it. Tell me more about me, you, us. Tell me about me, baby. Sorry, I just had to do that. I really, really like it. And I don't care what anyone thinks. Azerbaijan always qualify. They're going to qualify this time. And I know it's a bit crap where they're positioned right after Loreen. But tough shit. No way of going home. And this one's going to go through.
You know what? If we have a situation where Alessandra doesn't qualify and this does, I will buy you all the drinks you want that night, okay? I will happily take that bet, Sean, because there's no way in hell that is happening. I'm way too confident that that's its scenario. I'll join it. Like I said, I like that we have this sort of song. It's sweet, it's pleasant, it's easy listening, it's perfect for like a coffee shop sort of thing. And they're good singers. They're not bad singers. I just forget it the second it ends. It's background music. That's what I could describe it as. Like I said, it's nice that they haven't, bought it from Sweden or the Netherlands like they did with Effendi and Matahali, where that was just Dutch producers just throwing God knows anything on this. Had this pretty girl just pretending to sing for 3 minutes because she was. There was a vocalist off stage when her mic was over here still singing. Go look at back. That's still qualified. And yeah, the last time they sort of did this sort of like not hard hitting, not sort of something almost like generic, and that's the wrong word, I guess, just not impactful, I guess, was ISIL, and they didn't qualify then either. So as much as it would be nice to have the song in the final, and if it did make the final, I'm pretty sure this would be slot number 2, because you always have like an easy listening mess song going song 2 with no staging. I don't see this advancing. Like I said, if there was a jury, potentially there was a real potential for the song to qualify, because they would really appreciate the music and their voices. Just a televote, I sadly don't see it. I won't be upset if it's in the final, not at all, because I do like the song for what it's worth. I just do not remember it in this pack of 15. The semi-final is just too strong for it to go through, and it's unfair. I feel like these poor lads have been set up slightly. But, tell me more, Turan, and prove me wrong. I don't have no issue with the song, but at the end of the day, it is a competition and 5 songs do have to go home. And I do have this as one of the 5, sadly. Stuart, what do you think of the song? What are the chat room saying? Do you actually think this could actually sneak through? Like, is there a chance for this song?
Well, I think there was a chance when the juries were supporting the voting. Because it's 100% televote, I think it stands less of a chance, which I think is a real shame, because like Sean, I think it's an incredible song. And I'll tell you why. I think we're in danger of having a Eurovision every year now with overly manufactured shite. And I'm sorry, I'm going to offend a few people here, but Norway to me is overly manufactured shite. And I haven't liked it from the moment I heard it. I can't stand it. There were better songs in that national selection, let alone the final. But we're in danger of having a Eurovision where there is less diversity than ever there have been. And this is, for me, is a beautifully written song. I think it's in keeping with Eurovision in the UK, for obvious reasons. I don't need to go into that. Everybody understands Liverpool, the synonymous with Beatles, etc. Definitely a 1960s, 1970s vibe going on. I love the indie genre running through it. I think there's some really phenomenal chords. It sounds, by the way, for those who know Britpop from the 1990s, I think, maybe 2000s, there are chords at the beginning of it which sound very much like Kiss Me by the Sixpence. Go and have a little listen. I love it. I think it's great. I really do. Will it qualify? I don't think it will. Sadly. but I think it should. Please vote for Azerbaijan. The one year I want to see Azerbaijan qualify, because they have been sending manufactured shite. This is the one year where they're not. So please send them through, please.
We'll just have to wait and see in May. Martin, let's come to you. I do apologise. I'm slightly knackered. My brain's a bit all over the shop. When's it not, to be honest? Let's say, round this conversation out for us. What do you think of the Azerbaijan entry this year?
Well, 2 points that not been touched on yet. One, I found somebody at Eurofest on Friday who actually has this as their number one. So that's one thing. That's Liam, if anybody knows him. And two, slightly annoying song in the fact it's got that break. And that's going to be filled by people who don't know the song in Liverpool going, hey, oh God, I've cheered too early. And it's annoying for me on the radio because I'm thinking, God, have I missed something? Have we come to the end of the song? But anyway, everybody else has claimed every other point that could be said about this song. I like it. It does sound as though it would appeal to a UK audience really nicely, but we're not voting in the semi-final. Yeah, they've really stitched them up, putting them after Loreen and before Vesna. And yeah, I do like it, but as people have said, I don't think it's going to be strong enough to qualify, but it doesn't mean it's not a nice enough song to have on everybody's playlists and hum along to. And it does stick in your head. So, you know, but I think this will be Azerbaijan's second non-qualifier.
Thank you, Martin. And so just to end this, everyone get yourselves ready. Will Azerbaijan be in the final? 3, 2, 1, thumbs up, thumbs down, go. Oh, got a few maybes and a few no's. So no one's saying it's a definite quali, and some people are saying it's a borderline. But we'll wait and see. Like I said, I think there's going to be some surprises in the semi-final, and we don't know where they're going to come from. But that's half the fun of this, isn't it? Moving on, we are halfway through. We still have Finland, Moldova, and Israel to talk about. And let's see what the gods say we're going to discuss next. And it's going to be Finland. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. So, Finland. Galia. Won UMK at an absolute landslide, taking 52.9% of the vote, equating to 469 televote points after winning the international jury. This song is absolutely bonkers. It is absolutely mad. He is absolutely bonkers. He is absolutely mad. It's Finland's first entry and complete finish for about 10 years. Phil, Michelle, as one of you is cosplaying as Galia right now. Let's come to you.
No, we don't like it. We don't like it at all.
Of
course we like it!
What's cosplay?
That's when you dress up.
I thought this was a sex thing. You told me it was a sex thing.
Oh, no.
Oh, right. Oh.
So anyway, yeah, this is fantastic. This is my number one. Absolutely love it. I mean, it's in a prime spot. It's the last song, and it's fantastic. I love the fact, I mean, the song's about having had a shit week, and you going out, you're having a few beers, and you're going out on the dance floor, and like the first, like, 2/3 of the songs are like tense and sort of
bit angry.
pent-up anger, and then suddenly, you know, it gets to the bit where he goes on the dance floor and it changes, and the music changes with the lyrics, so it really tells a story in the music as well. I think this is going to win. I think it's going to win the whole thing.
I never even looked into what the song was. I thought, do you know what? I could dress up as that. And my daughter-in-law did me a little doodah, and we've blown some little balloonies up, and cha 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 cha. Oh, this is bloody brilliant! I don't dress up as bobbins. I only dress up as things I love. I love it. It's the best. Look at me nice hairdo. I love it. This tash, also, I'd like to say, I could grow it, but I didn't.
Thank you, Phil and Michelle. Martin, I'm going to come across to you because in our UMK preview show, you had this as your winner and you spoke very highly of it. And now it seems like everyone else has got in your wavelength, for lack of a better word. Are you still as confident with Cha 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 as you were a month ago?
Hold on, let's see if we can see that. There you go. Still number one. Yes, I mean, I think the problem I had back then was, is this going to be total nightmare and car crash in the national final? And it wasn't. It was absolutely bloody amazing with the dancers, and even you said that they were actually doing proper cha-cha steps, and it's just the sort of violence and anger in their faces and being chucked around and the pallets, and it was just amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. And in a way, if they could keep that staging and that performance for Eurovision, then Finland have got a damn good chance of winning this year. But it's just where will they expand it? Will they spoil it slightly, or maybe improve it? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is still amazing. I know most fans still love this. Surprisingly enough, it only came third at the Eurovision Review Party on Friday night. It wasn't Sweden who won it. It was actually Austria. But yeah, this is absolutely incredible song, and I'm so pleased it's there. It's definitely going to get through to the final, top 3, hopefully winner. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens on the 13th of May.
Thank you. So something I've noticed is that the staging may have to change slightly just because of the landscape. The UMK stage compared to the Liverpool stage does seem quite different, especially their ending. So elements may have to change. It's one of the things I'm expecting to change the most. Nicholas, let's come to you. So Finland haven't qualified with a song in Finnish since 2008. The fans have got this really hyped up. There's the talk of this being a potential winner. Granted, it is very crazy and divisive, and he's a divisive character just in himself, but he's very adorable, bless him. However, the fact this won the international jury in UMK, does that give it a legitimate stamp of a potential winner? Because, as we said, this could have absolutely crashed and burned in UMK, but it all seemed to work.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think that's an important thing to mention here as well, because sometimes we look at songs that are crazy and we think, oh, this is weird, juries are not going to like it. Juries don't hate a song just because it's crazy. They hate it if the production of it or the vocals are compromised just to make something that's strange. And that isn't the case here. This is a very well-produced song, and the way that it goes from one melody to another towards the end, that works really well. Like, this is a very well-produced song. I talked about Czechia before as being a country I really love in the contest because they take it seriously. UMK is another example of that. We have such amazing songs every year in this contest for the past couple of years. I mean, there are plenty of songs in Eurovision this year that I would have swapped out for the other UMK songs, so we could have just had all of them in it, because I think there was so much diversity. And there was so much quality in it. This song in particular, I mean, it's crazy, it's party, it's everything you need in a package. Is it one of my favorite songs? It's not, but I'm problematic, so you don't need to listen to me. This is going to be qualifying 100% for sure. And I do see this doing pretty well. I would love to see this win. I definitely think that this has so much more originality and so much more quality than a certain other song that I certainly will not mention here, that is also a potential winner. But anyways, this song I think is really interesting. And we've talked about it. It could have crashed and burned, but I love what they did in the staging. The only thing I wish for them to do in Liverpool is that they have that in the beginning of the performance. They have one of the cameras that has like a fisheye lens attached to it. And I want to see more of that fisheye being used, because I love those bits also in the music video where he gets like right up to the camera and really just like connects with the audience, because that is fun. And that's what exactly, there we go. There we have it. It's fun. It's what people will love. Everyone's going to remember this song. I would love us to go to Helsinki or Turku next year, because I think Finland is a great country. And can I just say also here in the end, I think Finnish is a fantastic language for music. I think it just has like this very interesting sound and tone to it that works really great, especially in this kind of song as well. I think the arena in Liverpool, it's gonna go crazy. Everyone's gonna be screaming "cha cha cha" when the song comes on in the final. Oh, it's gonna be an amazing experience. I'm sure everyone's gonna have fun with it.
Thank you, Nicholas. I'm gonna jump in here because I echo it. Leading into the fight into MK, I was like, the song's fine, but I don't see why this will win. When I saw that live performance, I was like, this is absolutely insane, but I am loving every single second of it because everything is just working. And that's the thing. It's a loud song, like there's a lot going on, but he can sing it well. He's a very good singer. And I think that's why he won the jury, because he can actually sing. It's my personal favourite of the year, probably tied with Austria, one of those two, but it's for the same reason. It's a bit bonkers, but it also has a good message when you look into it, and they can sing and deliver it well. Obviously, we haven't seen Austria staging performing live, but Tay and Selena can sing. We haven't seen the staging for Who the Hell is Edgar? But there's layers to these performances and songs. So if you like the crazy, it's for you. If you like something a bit more melodic, it's for you. Like I said, normally when you have two separate songs in the same song, it doesn't work. Icebreaker is an example. But again, this works. It goes against everything that should work in modern day music and performing. And that's its charm. He's just having a really fun time on stage. As I said, there are Latin dancers in the actual outfits and shoes doing actual steps, like a ronde into a hip, just like actual recognizable figures, which as a dancer, I really appreciated. And I hope they keep that because it was a nice subtle touch for me and I loved it. And like I said, it won the international jury. The only one that didn't put in their top 3 was the UK, but we never get invited to these things because we always go against the grain in these international juries every single fucking time. But yeah, this has potential to be a winner. A lot of people are saying like, oh, this is going to do shit in the jury vote, so it's not going to win. Don't discount it. Don't at all. I think the people saying that are the ones that are scared of this winning and scared of it, you know, uprooting Loreen and your others. I think it's them protesting too much. Will it win? It can do. It's not a dead set. There are a few winners this year. Can it do as well as Blind Channel in 6th place? Absolutely. I think they're on course for one of their best results since Lordi. And the thing I like the most is he seems like a really sweet, bit of a goofy guy, just enjoying doing music. And if you don't know if you've seen it, he released a 3-minute video a few weeks ago about how he was in a real dark place in 2020, and then how music, he had like almost like an epiphany, and that got him out of his slump and led him to this and doing it now, which I think is a really sweet whole circle moment as well. But Finland, it's insane, it's crazy, it's party. I want just a video of Krista Sigflees just moshing to this because I think that'd be absolutely batshit as well. And the videos of him performing since UMK, Nicholas is right, the crowd goes absolutely mental and sings it back at him, and that is a very important thing to note. People are going to go mental for this song, and when you hear it for the first time, they're going to go mad. So it's one to watch in the final, no shadow of a doubt, and it's closing the semi-final as well, which I think is just even better. Sean, let's come across to you now. Is there anything realistically within Kerlia's performance itself that can stop it winning, or is it just a case of other people need to do better?
Oh, I don't know if it's going to win. It's going to be really high up there, isn't it? It really is. Geez. I want to say Loreen Tattoo. The staging is phenomenal for that song. The song's damn good as well. But this is just off the scale, isn't it? It really, really is. It's utterly outrageous. It's a 3-minute journey from insane to cheesy. And it's just crackers. I love it. And like I say, everybody's going to go nuts for this. Absolutely everybody in that arena is going to go nuts. And that's going to come right through the screen into people's living rooms, and they're going to pick up the phone and vote for it on the final. And it's going to be right up there at the top of the leaderboard. Can it win? Yes, it can. Will it win? Possibly. I don't know. It's crazy. It's party. I love it. It's brilliant. I just love all the lyrics when he's going on the dance floor and pouring champagne all over himself and stuff. It's like, that's the kind of life I want to lead. It really is. It's just a right for 3 minutes of good fun, and I just don't know what else to say. Really, it's just a stunning entry, and I think we may well be in Finland next year.
High praise. Stuart, let's come to you. Let's see what the chat room is saying and what about yourself, because what I get from this is similar to Go Away, where their live performance was phenomenal and that really took it there. But this already has the support Go Away didn't have leading into the contest. Like I said, is that the thing? Like the fact people already are excited to see this, it's won over the core fans. It's probably going to win over the first-time viewers. Can it do the deal in 6 weeks' time?
Right, here we go. Oh
no.
Yeah, Finland.
Come on, Ginger Jesus, give it to us.
Never say that again.
He's in the chat room. All props to our friend in the chat room. You know who you are. So, Eurovision fans, you contradict yourself something chronic. 1 minute you tell us that we can't have Loreen win Eurovision because it's all about the performance and there's no song. And yet this is all about the performance. There is absolutely no song to Finland. And I find it incredible that there are people that go online just to say one thing and mean another. You can't have it two ways. Both songs deserve to be there. They're both songs that are designed to wow on the night. I would like to take you back to 2019 when a certain Hatari took to the Eurovision stage. And they were designed to win Eurovision. It was the most incredible performance on stage. The problem with Hatari's song is it was limited in terms of its actual song. It was all about the staging. Now, it was clearly a genre. I love diversity. It was clearly a genre that met, you know, those who like a diverse need at Eurovision. But it clearly didn't meet the juries because it came 16th. And it didn't win the televote either. I think we're going to see something very similar here. I really like this song, by the way. I think it is a song, but I don't think it's a great song. I think stunning performance. I think he's incredible. And I love the idea of it. I love the idea of a Mexican wrestling ring. And I'm sure there's many a Eurovision fan would like to get him in a backdoor slam. But that's another story for another day. I think it's incredibly unique. I think it's brilliant in many, many ways. But I think it's fifth at best at Eurovision. Out.
Well, there's always one, isn't it? Just to dampen our flames slightly. Meh. Phil, Michelle, you just wanted to quickly jump in on this. What do you want to say in rebuttal to Stuart's slightly damning critique there?
Stuart is arsehole. It's crazy as party!
Goodness, I said it better myself. Right, guys, and I know this was like a bit of formality, but we don't know for everyone else, so we can do it for this one. Will Finland be in the Eurovision Grand Final? 3, 2, 1, show of hands. Oh, Michelle, I was going to say. Yeah, so we all say it's all going to be in the final, and we'll see how Kaelia and the Finnish team do in May. But it's a...
We all say it's crazy as party!
I think the last gin's hit us, Stuart.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm so confused.
I never know what's going on. Let's go back to the wheel. Israel or Moldova? Who are we going to talk about next? Round and round it goes. And it is Moldova. And it's actually the first of our returning artists I believe we're talking about this year. Pasha Partheni. He is back after competing in 2012 with that, what only I can describe as an acid trip of a performance on stage in Baku. I still don't know what was going on with the backing dancers and singers. It was very, very weird, but nah. He's back with Soare se Luna. It translates to the sun and the moon. Won the jury and the televote, outlasting the types of Sunstroke Project and Aliona Moon, who were also competing alongside him. Stuart, let's start with you on this one. Moldova. They've gone back to a slightly crazy entry this year. He's quite an anthemic performer, Pasha, as we've seen. Can he get back into the final for a second time?
I think he can. I like it. I like it a lot. I love the fact that there's clearly a mystique around this entry. Again, diverse. Again, another country that's looked at successful Eurovision performances, songs. I mean, it's a performance show. We just talked about that a second or two ago. And I looked at songs that do very, very well. I mean, I get absolute shades of Eugene Bushpepper here mixed with Go A. I just think those two have come together to form the Moldovan entry this year. I think it's got an incredible beat driving through this. I really like it. The flutes then come out and hit you right around the face. Then we get fire, we get flames on the, you know there's going to be fire on stage. It's a given. And there has to be drums. Show me the drums. There has to be drums. This has got everything you want. And it does take me back to Go A, and I loved Go A so much. I think this is an absolute guaranteed qualifier. And Moldova did so well last year, winning the public vote. I don't think it's going to do it again this year, but I do think this is one song that's being overlooked, and I think it could be a song to watch at Eurovision this year. I love it.
Thank you, Stuart. So, Mark, let's come to you. So, whenever Moldova has qualified for the final, barring 2010, every single time since 2010, they have finished on the left-hand side of the scoreboard if they've qualified. So, obviously, that's quite a tall honour for Pasha to do if he is to advance to the final. But given, say, the uniqueness of the song and the staging and, say, the mystique around it, is this a song which, if it makes a final, can finish on that left-hand side of the scoreboard again for them?
Yeah, can't see why not. It's got something that a lot of songs this year won't have, which is sort of what people think of being ethnic and specific to that nation. The whole look, the whole performance, the sound. And in the national final, it was obvious they were going to win, really. But in a way, the weak point for me then was Pasha's vocals. But he proved last night in Barcelona that it's all back up to speed. But it was everything else. It was the drums that Stuart wants. You had the Amazonian backing singer ladies with their antlers on the top of their head. And then you had the little guy, however you wanted to, that the whole performance for me, my age, gave me a Spinal Tap sort of moment. I was thinking the Stonehenge scene with the 18-inch Stonehenge, and but it was all there. It was a great performance, and I loved the interaction between the flutist guy and Pasha in between as well. So yeah, and if it makes it through to semi-final, which I think it should do, I think there's a lot more that are worse than this one. It's not going to be up the top of the semi-final, but probably mid-table. Yeah, I think it's probably the sort of thing that probably end up just outside top 10, sort of maybe 10th, 13th, quite easily, and it might even be a bit higher. But but I think that's probably about where it's going to be, mid-table. So yeah, but I really enjoy this one, and I'd be quite happy to see it go through.
Martin, Sean, so our songs just in comments, they find the song just a bit too repetitive for their taste this year. Is that arguably its biggest drawback, because it's going before Loreen and it's following on from Noah of Israel? But the fact that it is a bit, I do believe they use the chorus probably like 3.5 to 4 times. Is that a good thing so it stays in your head, or as they said, it's just a bit too repetitive, you can tune out from it?
It's one of my comments was the lyrics are a little repetitive, but it's a good song. It's the only downside to the song I can see. I love everything else about it. It's got flutes, it's got drums, it's got a good dance beat, it's got a dwarf, if we're allowed to call dwarves, or little person then. But I've always wanted one. Sorry, I wanted one for Christmas, but I didn't get it. Never mind. You can rent them now. You can. There's a website, rentadwarf.com.
Where have you been looking to find that out? We're having a conversation after this show. Like, what the fuck have you been searching?
Well, I'm not showing you my internet history, put it that way. But
no one wants to see that, Sean.
No one wants to see that. No. But it's I love it. I really like the song. I hope it qualifies. I've lost my train of thought. I just like the little wee man, to be honest. That's the only reason why I want that and the flute. Yeah, that's extra bonus points for me. So I hope I meet him. Oh, when am I going to meet him? Sorry.
How do we ever broadcast this show? Free Watershed is beyond me.
I don't know. I could use him as an occasional table, couldn't I?
Oh, too far line. I'm shit-faced. I've been thinking all day, but that's too far.
Oh, sorry. No, I love the song. I really like the song. And apologies if I've offended any small people watching.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we offend someone at least once a week with our opinions, to be fair. But before someone comes chasing after us with a pitchfork for that comment, Phil Michelle, Moldova, it's a bit kooky, it's a bit ethnic. You like a bit of kooky. Where's the sit with you?
Oh, I love this. I mean, if anyone been watching this for a few years, you'll know that I love Moldova. Moldova always sends something. And this year, I
sometimes dress up as Moldova because he likes it.
This year, I was kind of, when the national finals were coming up, I thought, oh, wow, Sunstroke Project are back. And then when you watched it, Sunstroke Project really phoned it in. It was a half-assed performance, and this absolutely stole the show. I love it. It's like sort of a deleted scene from a 70s horror film like The Wicker Man. There's one for the youth. But it's brilliant. And forget Epic Sax Guy, we've now got Epic Flute Guy. Fantastic.
I love flute, Quali.
Thank you. I'm also thinking I'm going to add to the ESC Bingo Fan TV bingo card this year. That's one for the youth. Because we seem to be saying it a lot this year. Nicholas, let's round out this conversation. As we know from 2012, Pasha is a very, what's the word? Engaging performer. We remember that staging from 2012. It was batshit. As I think the British broadcaster said it best, it was the Saturdays on an acid trip. And yet it still placed 11th. Do you think that's the selling point of Moldova and the song and him, that doesn't matter what he sings, he's just a natural performer and he gets you on your side?
Yeah, I can see that definitely. I think when Moldova does well, the examples that you've put, if they go to the final, they usually do quite well. It is because they have those performers who, yes, it is maybe a little crazy, a little strange, but it's a package that always works so well. Sunstroke Project, they feel authentic in what they're doing. Shup de Shup, they feel authentic in what they're doing. I feel like it's the same case with this one. This song is in my top 10. I really enjoy it, especially the flute bit. That is my favorite, and that's like the thing that's like stuck in your head after you've listened to this song. I think it's really great, and I love that despite the fairly low production value that the Moldovan national final always has, I think the performance that we had there was really great. I think he connected with the audience. He connected with the viewers. There was stuff going on without there being too much going on. I think that's something that Moldova is always really good at actually doing, is that, yes, some of their songs are very out there, but it never feels too much. It never feels like they're trying too hard or putting too much in there. It's always the right kind of crazy to make it actually also something that even like the casual viewer can enjoy. And I think last year is another great example of that. I think coming into this, I expected myself to say I wasn't sure if this was, a 100% sure qualifier, because sometimes these songs do well. Go A is a great example of these songs doing well, but France last year is a great example of these not doing so well. But I think thinking a little bit more about it here and hearing what everyone else has been saying, I do think this is a very Moldovan entry. It's one of those entries where when they send something like this, they usually do quite well. So, you know what? This could be another one of those that goes straight to the final and really connects with the audience.
Thank you, Nicholas. I'm just going to round this out. I like the song. I don't love it. I don't mind it when it comes on. I love the music in the song, but I agree the lyrics do repeat a fair bit. But the music and the bass of it all is brilliant. In that sense, the production side is a very well crafted piece of music. I will say, I think what makes or breaks this is its staging and the camera angles that they use. I think that is going to be critical. I think that they need to have the two female vocalists in the national final back with him. Because seeing the performance in Barcelona last night, it did feel a little empty without those two there as well, just to, like, for lack of a better word, sell the fantasy that he's putting out on stage. It ties it all together that this is a very mystical ethnic thing that links to Moldova. And if it's just him and the little person, or the correct terminology for that, it just looks a bit, I don't want to say joke act, but it's a bit like what's going on here at times. However, as we know, Pasha is a fantastic performer. He will no doubt perform it top tier come May. It's just a case of what goes on around him and what is actually projected down the TV screen, because that's the important thing. So I think, like I say, the camera work has to be spot on to get this through. But if it makes the final, I can see this doing well, because people love Moldova when they're a bit out there, and this is definitely out there. But it's not my favorite Moldovan entry. That'll still forever be My Lucky Day by Dora Days, because that was fantastic. Any excuse to mention them. But let's round this out. Will Moldova be in the final? 3, 2, 1. Show of hands now. Okay, so we've got a few yeses and a few maybes. So no one's saying it's a definite non-qualifier. But a few of us a little bit unsure, which I think isn't a bad position to be in. Now, I know there's only one left, but let's just be fair and just spin it just for fun. Who's it going to be? I do wonder.
You can still get a room in.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Who will it be?
You can still get a room in Liverpool for 10 grand for the week if you click on the link on the left, just saying.
This is not an ad, Stuart. Until they start paying us that money, then I will tell them all about it.
I'm doing my very best, Elliot. I'm trying here.
Stu, for God's sake, just get a grip. Just calm down. It'll be sorted next week.
But yes, Israel. Noah Kirel, she was actually the first artist announced for Eurovision. Then there was a question of, is she actually doing it? And then she said, yes, I am doing it. Because the Israelis just love making things a bit more complicated than it needs to be. Or maybe Noah was, I don't know. 21 years old, has been doing music since she was 13 and putting music out there. She will be going with the song Unicorn, where the very famous Israeli producer Doron Medali, most known for doing the song Toy, is on this song as well. Performing ninth in the final after Switzerland and before Moldova. I'm going to start this one off now. Everyone was very excited when Noah Kirel got announced, and it picked my ears up as well, because I remember one of our contributors, Danny, said, I know her music, she's going to be fantastic, already excited. This song is about 4 songs sandwiched together. It starts with a big orchestral thing, then it goes into some sort of like talky singing, then this sort of like traditional building pre-chorus, then drops, then goes back up again, then drops, then a dance break, and then a really bombastic ending where she's singing Unicorn, which is actually the highlight of the song in my opinion. But it's 2 minutes of what's going on, and then 30 seconds of, oh, this is really strong. I don't know what to make of it. I get like Mata Hari from this, and like, this feels like a lot's going on, and only at the end does it all seem to really click and just kind of go boom. And I think that's what we get at stage. I think the ending where she's singing You Need Corn and it's really powerful and heavy, I think that's going to look really good on the stage. The rest of it, I'm not sure, because it's just all a bit all over the place, for lack of a better word. Like, she's a great singer. The song is just a bit disjointed. And I'm just a bit confused why they went in this direction. I know she had 2 songs to go with, and maybe she's thinking this one will stand out more. I don't know. I'm sure she'll deliver on stage. She seems very confident. But yeah, it's just a lot going on in this performance, and I'm not sure fully of why everything that is going on. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Sean, let's come to you first. Now, she sings that she's going to stand with the power of a unicorn. I don't know what that is, because unicorns are mythical beings. Please fill me in, because I haven't.
It's shitting rainbows and vomiting glitter. That's
definitely going to be a stage show then, isn't it?
Isn't it? Can you imagine that on stage? You're going to have to put her on last or something, because it needs sweeping up and stuff. I don't know. It's a really bizarre song, isn't it? Like you said, full of up and downs. It starts really promising, and then we get to the chorus. I'm going to stand here like a unicorn. I mean, are unicorns known for just standing about? I don't get it. I know it's kind of supposed to be, I don't know, about unleashing your inner strength or something, but the lyrics just so preposterous. I just don't think the viewing public will get it. Maybe the little kids will like it, like unicorn and blah, 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 but I don't know. And then when it gets to the big dance break at the end, do you want to see me dance? Do you want to see me dance? Do you want to see me dance? Watch me. And then the beat drops, and then the backing singers are just going, unicorn, unicorn. It's just what I mean. It's a mess. It's BS. It's a mess. It's a mess. I just don't get it. And I'll probably qualify, and I'll probably do really well, but I just don't get it at all. What a letdown, because I really like Israeli entries normally. But yeah, this is really disappointing for me this year.
Oh dear. Nicholas, let's come to you. As we said, Noah, very powerful performer, wrote by Doron Medali. Do you think this needs like a stage show to bring this all together? Because the song itself in studio seems a bit disjointed, but can it be one of those situations where on stage it can all click and come alive?
I think there's definitely the money in there. I think she has, and the delegation has plenty of money to go by to make this grand, and I think they will. I feel like there isn't much to say about this song. I personally just think it's a very well-produced pop song. I don't think it's as disjointed and like too many songs in once as some people kind of claim. When I listen to it, yes, there's definitely a lot going on, but I feel like it does kind of naturally transition from like one bit to another. It's not the typical song structure, and it's not the typical structure that we are seeing in Eurovision. I feel like maybe this is the kind of thing that's being done because like in this day and age that we live in, this is again one for the youth, where you take like small bits of a song and you use that for like TikToks. I can kind of see how you would take bits of the song that you could use like that. So maybe that's what they were thinking when they went with it. But I think it's well produced. I think she is great. I think that they can pull this off by having a grand staging. And I do think it's going to qualify. Did I need like Noah CGI'd onto a unicorn body as like a new sleep paralysis demon? I certainly did not. But I think the song is all right. It's not among my favorites, but I do think it can qualify.
You're telling me you didn't need a Noah CGI'd as a unicorn in your life, really?
I really did not. I really did not.
But is your life better for it? Oh, you just know like there's gonna be so much like artwork and promo of just that image of Noah stood as a unicorn like this, and like I even thinking about it makes me laugh. Phil, Michelle, let's come to you. What do you think? Like I said, a lot going on. Some people really vibe with it, some people don't. Where do you sit with this?
I kind of struggle with this song. I really don't know what's going on. He's kind of not my favorite at all. I don't know. I just don't like it.
That's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Some, you know, other people say there's too much going on, and then it goes on to the it's going to be phenomenal. It's just what's going on? What's that all about? No, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't like it.
I wouldn't shit a rainbow just due to the fact that I'd rolled myself in glitter.
Yeah.
Now there's a party trick. Oh, I'd never let a day drink again before coming on a show. Martin, what do you think? Because as Nicholas said, like this is ones you could say for TikTok and things like that. But you also see like the radio appeal in this, because also like there are elements which sound really radio friendly in this song. And do you think like that's what could hopefully tip it over? Because even though it is a bit confusing, there are elements which people can gravitate to within that song, even though it does seem a bit, in my opinion, disjointed.
Yeah, I mean, to start with, when I heard it was Noah Carell, I managed to get a sneaky bet on 66 to 1 for £20. So probably £20 lost, to be realistic. But hey, I mean, it's very watchable. You know, I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. And it's obvious we're going to have a big performance. I mean, if you've got in your song, oh, do you want to see me dance? And then there's a 30-second sort of, you know, more or less music that's set up for dancing. We're going to have a dance break at the end of that song, and it's going to look absolutely incredible. I think it is going to be all down to the staging. If you've seen her live in concert, she can dance, she can sing live, she can move, and she'll go for all her backing dancers. So I think this is a nailed on certainty that it's going to qualify, just purely because it's going to look amazing. It's probably going to be the closest I would predict that we're going to have to what Chanel gave us with slow-mo visually, not necessarily what it sounds like. And she's a centaur in the video. She hasn't got a horn, she's got that, so she's a centaur. It doesn't make sense, but anyway, that's the unicorn. Yeah, I like the song, but yeah, it's not going to win, but it's going to easily sail through the semi-final as far as I'm concerned.
Perhaps she wants to be the centaur of attention.
Boo.
Maybe she's a step forward.
Respect you.
No, don't clap and applaud that. It'll make him worse.
You know what?
No.
You know what? I've never been more ashamed of being in this program as I have now. This is horrific. Stop it.
And everyone who's been here for a while and knows the kind of costumes that Michelle has had on, just think about that comment just for a second.
Yeah, this is
Michelle
the
could be a
tipping of
centaur.
No. Stuart, wrap this up for us. Does Martin make a good point there? Is this the song this year which, not sure of in studio, but on stage, she puts a fantastic package together, comes alive, and gets second/third come the final?
Yeah, look, I think it's okay to criticise when you're excited for an artist and they deliver what many believe, and the same is for the UK, by the way. People are saying it's a very generic pop song. This comes across to many as a generic pop song. You could argue that Destiny from Malta a few years ago delivered a very generic pop song. Now, off air, you and I talked about the fact it's got Charleston written. Yeah, fine. But for a lot of people, both songs that Destiny was going to sing 1 year after the other were generic pop songs. Generic pop song is fine. I mean, I made the point at the beginning of the show that I think we see too much of it now, and it's becoming more of a generic pop Eurovision, and I prefer diversity. But there's nothing wrong with that. The points Ranovich has made in the chat room are fine, actually, and fair. It does top the streaming numbers because she's a world star. She's huge. Let's not ignore that. She is one of the stars of Eurovision going into this competition. She really is. And she's going to deliver a phenomenal vocal. If you were to think of an artist going into Eurovision that could deliver, you would say she's kind of in that Chanel area. But it's fair to say Chanel's song was better going into the contest. A lot of people look at this and go, what the hell is she talking about? Why have we got a song about unicorns in Eurovision? And it's also fair to ask that as well. And I don't think many people have got an answer to that right now. It's a bit weird and wonderful. But I do expect we'll see a wonderful show. I think she'll deliver it on stage. I think it's an absolute guaranteed qualifier. There's no question for me on that. I think it's sailing through. She'll sail through. She is incredibly looking. She's incredible. She has an incredible vocal. But I just feel there was other options. She could have done a Shiri Maimon type huge ballad because she has the ability to do that, and it would have been just as successful, I think. And I was kind of here for that, but hey, that's not what we're getting. But either way, she's going to deliver a great vocal. Before I finish, I just want to make a point. There is one thing about the video that does bug me. She does all that great stuff in the video, and then she kind of falls back down to earth, and she's sat in front of some random guy at a dinner table. Go and watch it. And they're kind of having dinner, and he hasn't even dressed up for the occasion. I don't know what that's all about, but it's kind of a weird ending to a video. She looks stunning, and he's kind of sat there with his stripy jumper on. It was quite funny, actually, when you watch that. But either way, look, she's going to be phenomenal.
Any excuse just to get that in, wasn't it, Stuart? But to round this all out, well, we see Israel in the grand final in Liverpool. 3, 2, 1, show of hands. Oh, well, we have got a no from Phil, maybe from Michelle, but the rest say yes. So we'll wait and see what will happen. But that is everything for this evening. We reviewed 6 more songs. I'm knackered now, don't know anyone else. But yeah, we'll be back next time, same place. I will not be here next week, so Tom will hopefully be back and looking after this. Otherwise, I don't know who's going to be looking after this ship because I'm away in Blackpool. I'm a bit busy next week to, okay, Stuart. Oh, Stuart's nominating himself. This can only go one way then.
Are you leaving the wheel?
I am
leaving the wheel.
I am leaving the wheel. Hopefully Jesus will take the wheel in my place. But it's time to say goodbye to my lovely panel.
Take the wheel.
I'm losing the plot. Someone save me. God? Ginger Jesus? No. A big thank you to my panel. I would say a big thank you to Nicholas. Thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you come back.
It's great to be on here as always. Thank you for having me.
And he always comes back, so clearly we do something right. He's had the chance to run and hasn't yet. Big thank you to Martin. Make sure you check out his radio show, Let Me Be the One, on Tuesdays. Thank you for coming on as always.
Yes, thank you very much. Enjoyed this evening. Nice to talk about entries that I enjoy talking about.
It's always a bonus. I think it's part of why Gustav wasn't here. Otherwise, he'd just be negative the entire hour. A big thank you to Phil and Michelle, or shall I say Phil and Karia.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been fun as always. Absolutely loved it.
I sing Eurovision.
A big thank you to Sean.
It's been champion. Sorry. See you next time.
You're not sorry. And finally, a big thank you to Stuart, who's been looking after the chat room for me as well. Thank you as always.
I just can't. Michelle, if you keep doing that any much longer, you're going to have a repetitive strain injury. Put your arm down. Yeah, I'll be in the hot seat next week. You should all be very, very scared. I haven't done this for a very long time. Thank you, Elliot. You've been incredible as always.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure as well. Thank you for everyone who's commenting along and watching. We really do appreciate it. Give us a like, follow, and all that good stuff on our social media. We love you for it. And like I said, I'll see you in 2 weeks, but you'll see this lot next week. Until then, see you later. Bye.